we starting out today with the WZ132A here. Hopefully, this goes all right. This is Himmelsdorf, so nice to see some of you guys are here ready. Yeah, unfortunately, tonight, not that, some of you guys use Discord, but Discord is not really working well right now, so it'll pop up, I'm sure, after a little bit. But like usual, I'll be soloing tonight since it's Sunday. If you have any requests, I'll go ahead and take them. Thanks for that. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't hear my own voice, but thank you for that. Anyway, like usual, I'll be soloing tonight. Nice to see a lot of you guys. Jersey accent. But yeah, if you have any requests, I'll gladly take them. I already have several, so it probably is going to fill up pretty quickly. But nice to see you guys. Yeah, it's probably I assume it's working now. Honestly, it's probably because I set up the stream like hour and a half early. Something probably got screwed up when I was doing other stuff on my computer. I was watching a couple honestly anime videos, so let's say I didn't think the Strive S1 could fight very effectively over that, and we are correct. I'd like to get him tracked, but Uber, your request is working. It shows up on my screen now. It doesn't give you anything. It doesn't give you anything back, but it pops up on my screen if you use the request feature. Hey M4, you can push all you want there. I am not pushing that hard. A little bit already unsafe right now, but shot him in the track. Very much. Very nice. I'll push down here. Yeah, every now and then the microphone gets a little funky. Alright, are you gonna... Fortunately for me, this guy moved a little bit far up. Yeah, I'll have to catch up on chat in a second since I started out with a light tank here, so... If I get smashed in here, he won't be able to turn around me. Oh my god, no! So I was kind of hoping, come on, Scorpion G, you can do it. Thanks for helping me, but a little bit late to the fight. No one seems to play it just because it's basically one of the newest tanks, but on top of that, they added it into a line that already had tanks where, the mouse where most people already have that. So a lot of people didn't even bother to grind to it, unless you really like playing tanks like that or you're currently grinding that line. You're not going to find too many people going back to buy a tier 8 and a tier 9, so that's why you don't see a ton of people play them. But basically the Malshin and the VK101P or 101p. They're basically, as far as win rate, like part of it might be to you know, veteran players primarily playing them, but they have pretty much the highest win percentages, like top, you know, in the top 3 or 4, I believe, out of tier 8, tier 9. You know, the mouse definitely does. So they're not bad tanks. Basically, they play virtually like the mouse, to where ton of armor, decent amount of HP, hard-hitting guns. A pretty good combination. God, this is a bad decision. Luckily, I got a little bit of RNG on my side. Ooh, if I get lucky. And hit that T-30 somehow. But pretty much the downside, you know, to any slow, fat, large tank like that is it is a little bit reliant upon your team, and, you know, not being top tier all the time, since they're tier 8 and 9, you're going to struggle a little bit when you're not top tier and your team's not exactly able to hold its own. Very nice. Let's say I'm up to 4,400 damage. I'm gonna hop up here to help this Scorpion. It's just, I was about to say, we're probably all gonna die here anyway, but hi guys. But yeah, unfortunately I don't think we're gonna win this, just because, you know, the AMX 1390 is really my, which at this point I think tank requests are almost full with the amount I kind of see over here. With the amount of HP we have left, and the 1390 having a good chunk of HP. Whoopsie daisy. Let's see if I can bait him over. He probably isn't going to take the bait. See if he drives back around. Say that would be my kind of my best bet, because, you know, we don't have any arty that I can really spot for, is if I can get a shot on him. Shit, I'm in the wrong spot, and I didn't want him to hit me, of course. So yeah, I'm kind of in a bad location now. Lord, there's a T-30 behind me. And a Ferdinand. And a Borsig. Ah, it was worth a shot. Oh well. Really, my only hope was to go around there and hit one of those guys. Had I waited it longer, I was gonna die anyway. But yeah, I kind of agree that this T-57 needs to... Even though, honestly, if the T-57, all they have to do is pull out and he can kill the T-30, the Borsig. So, yeah. But nice to see a lot of you guys. Let me catch up on the grinds here. I'm trying to program. There we go. I'm trying to alt tab, but it's not really letting me. There we go. He just got ammo rack. That is hilarious. Yeah, I would definitely say at this point, my tank requests are 100% full right now. Yeah. Alright, so let me, yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, 9 minutes in. That's probably all I'm going to be able to get to. Master Baz second class, high caliber award. Reason I'm pushing down the Chinese lights first is the damage. They're pretty awesome. The guns on the tier 9 and 10 specifically are pretty damn good. You have to deal with low gun depression, but the mobility in the guns, it's not to say perfect, but between that and American line, they're pretty damn fun to play. But I was about to say, obviously Meathead is on, but he's playing favorites, I guess. Alright, so first up's the Strev 103B here, which, thank you for tipping Levi a biscuit. He'll be very happy. He was very he was very confused when I usually get on the computer about like 45 minutes, half hour now that I'm really busy before the stream to set it up. But I had a little bit of time, so I sat down. Honestly, I caught up on a couple shows I watch that for whatever reason my TV didn't record them. So I was sitting here and he's like looking at me like, dude, why am I not getting fed here? There's one more over there. But yeah, Levi, he's always around. I'll let you guys know if he's not here. The T-50, I didn't even see the T-57 complaining. Hello, Seb. And Marga, Daniel, Poser, and Tig. I know a lot of other you guys are here too. Just trying to... Whenever I play light the first match, I tend to... zone out a little bit. The Purple Bunny, yes, it survived surgery. It took me like 15 minutes to sew that thing back together. He had ripped its neck off so badly. Plus, I'm not exactly the best person with a needle. Very good with a knife, a needle, not so much. Ryan did congratulate me though and said I did a pretty decent job at it. Just saying a lot. Thanks, Andrew, for tipping the dog again. He will be extremely happy. Taking a little bit of a chance here, but Arty shouldn't be able to directly hit me. Like, that was an Arty shot there. Yeah, that's a second one. That was a little bit too close for comfort. I'd say they mainly can just splash me, which... Not to say I want to get hit by Arty, but... I'll tip him after this battle here, so he gets a little bit of a breather. I think it was better for me to get a couple shots there and for my team, but unfortunately for us, we don't really have a presence. We have a very strong presence around our base for some reason. Like, we have 2 of our TDs at our base, and they're kind of hiding with that T-57 pushing, which... What if the T-57's the only one there? Like, it's the questions we need to answer. It's like, you currently have 4 people sitting there. You know, now there's a JPZ 100, but still, it's, right now it's 3 versus 4. If this JPZ pushes, honestly, I will push with him. He's going for it, which... This is probably the riskiest thing you'll see me do in this, because pushing down this slope is no easy task. I had no doubts in my mind that I was not going to flip myself over. No doubts at all. Oh shit, there's a rock there. Are you freaking... Are you freaking kidding me? Oh god, which they got freaking steamrolled there. Like, that's mainly because our 2 TDs sat all the way back there. Which we really have no chance at all here outside of just, hopefully I can push before this guy tracks me. It's just... My lord. That's why if the enemy's all clumped up, you don't sit there like layered in your defense, because they just pick off the first little bunch of you, and then you're kind of screwed. Oh god. Yeah. I knew something like that was gonna happen, but yeah, oh well. But like, which I don't have a A43, unfortunately, Wang either. At this point though, like tank requests, I do think tank requests are full, unfortunately. I will still type them down onto the end of the list. I just don't think that I can get to them, unfortunately. Alright, so next up is a tank grind. I didn't win, so I'm popping back into the WZ132A. Because this is kind of, I really want to check this line off too and get to the tier 10. So I'm going to hop into that. Up after this is the PZ34. Well, yeah, Greenleaf. A lot of people do turn down some graphic settings to be able to see better. I like keeping them up. I like things to look pretty, but most pro people will tell you to turn down certain things. It doesn't help all too much in my opinion, but no, they cannot Greenleaf. They can't move the gun at all unless you go into siege mode. Yeah, I just knew he was going to kill me because his gun caliber pretty much overmatches my entire tank unless I was very far away and he was shooting at that space armor in the front and I had to get lucky. Well, yeah, right now the tank requests are so long that it is kind of overflowing past my, oh lord, past my usual bottom. Well, at least I didn't flip myself over. I need to pay attention to driving, obviously. Upcoming Polish tanks, there's not really too much news about Polish tanks, so beats me. I don't really know anything about them, to be honest, as far as what potentially could make it in. The only thing I've seen is the Polish Premium Panther. Perfectly fine with me. You know, basically a stock Panther, a tier lower, I believe, is what they were going to introduce. Well, as far as tanks go, the game doesn't exactly span just up to, say, World War II. Honestly, the amount of times I've almost killed myself in a light tank on this map is way higher than it should be. I was about to say, take a chance that Arty wouldn't get me. Which, oh, this T-44 is unfortunately pushing. Yeah. Why you do not do that? We need a little bit. Oh god, this guy is pushing on me now, and the RU-251 of course is a very awesome person and is not helping me whatsoever. So I'm probably going to get pushed on by at least another tank here as well. And unfortunately, oh thank god, I think that tortoise helped me. I might be able to get out of this. It's just, yeah, the RU-251 was running away when, if he had kept an eye on things, he would have been able to see that he could have still helped me. But at least I'm still alive. It's just, unfortunately, now that I'm one-shottable, I'm not going to attempt to kind of run away. Thank you, Amir. Nice to see you. And hello, Berserk. At this point, requests are kind of full right now, but, you know, I'll keep tacking them on. If I can get to them, I will do my best, but I'm not able to promise anything. Yeah, unfortunately for this, and KV3 was going to push on me regardless, so might as well try to get a shot. Part of the problem is the Tortoise was doing a very good job of helping me. This RU-251 is too busy running away. Honestly, once you get the tier 8 in a light tank, and especially if you get to tier 9 and 10, your primary goal, you know, you still kind of spot for your team. Your primary goal shifts back to doing damage. Specifically, you know, flanking, getting out, getting quick early damage. It's very important to do that because once you hit tier 9 and pretty much every light tank now, your penetration jumps up to basically almost medium tank levels of the tier. Because a hair bit below. DPM's good, you know, pretty much the accuracy is good for most as well, even if the overall accuracy looks low. Especially once you get to tier 9, you need to be doing damage for your team or else you're pretty much useless as a light in most situations. It's just, it's very hard to actually do much as a tier 9 and 10 light if you're not dishing out damage for your team. Alright, into the PZ-34 here. At least it's a tier 5 match. Fortunately, they have, I would say, a little bit better tanks at the top of their list than we do, but... Well, part of the problem with that is, you know, Wargaming's done it a few times. Yeah, the webcam every now and then, you know, it doesn't do its best focusing at times. That comes down to primarily I have freaking 5 lights on the top, you know, a ceiling fan right behind me that's really bright. That's why it goes in and out of focus sometimes. There's not too much I can do about that unless I change everything around in this room, which Ryan probably would veto that. But part of the reason, you know, the whole Rudy thing and the different, you know, German tech tree, even though it should be Polish, is, you know, Wargaming's done it before to where they introduce a tank that, you know, the nation's not currently in the game, and they put it in a nation that's similar. You know, more or less, it's just one of those things that, yeah, it sucks, but, yeah, it's not the end of the world. They could do something to where, you know, people that own it potentially switch it over to the different nation, give them, you know, it's a lot of work to say they'd have to give them a Polish Rudy and keep the German one for anyone that owned it before so they didn't anger anybody, you know, it's a lot of things to where... Alright. These guys are taking too long with this Stug 4. You know, mid-tiers you have to be quick. The enemy is gonna absolutely murder us in the north. Not even just win, they are literally about to murder the entire northern flank. Luckily we have a Matilda over here, but like he's aiming at me, but he's not doing anything. Alright. Now they're a little bit better off. Don't know where this Lago is, unfortunately. That's my problem. Sure, I'm about to find him. Let's see if this Hetzer follows me. Alright. Okay, he took the bait. Hopefully this pays off for me. Never mind. He pulled back. And, you know, my Stug ran away too, which is the problem. Now I'm kind of Do I push this way even though the Lago's probably here? I'm just gonna run away. Honestly, I was hoping to bring the Stug in on something, but excuse me. He just ran away, and yeah, I was kind of stuck out here dancing around, accomplishing nothing, and my team got smashed. Alright. And the Stug basically just ran back and got killed. We're not 100% out of this, but we are extremely close. Yeah, they're gonna probably be running back to their base. If I had to guess, only because this Matilda's capping, so I'm gonna hope to catch this OI experimental off guard. Holy crap. No, I didn't damage him. Holy crap, Matilda. Very nice job there. I'm gonna go back and help him now. He's still full HP somehow. This is closer than I would like, but it's still winnable. I just have to get back to this Matilda quick enough because they're all gonna crash in on him. But honestly, at least he's in a Matilda, to where even though he was a tier 4 in a tier 5 match, the tank's pretty damn good. Now, where did this Lago go? We have not spotted him since the beginning. Is he still down here? Who knows? I might just cap, because honestly, I'm glad we got a win here. Basically, it did pen on that OI experimental. It just hit too low, to where it penetrated his side, but it hit beneath the hull and did no damage. Yeah, why not? I'll cheat and get a cheap reward. Since the guy did a pretty damn good job. Without him, honestly, we would have lost that battle. I derped around in the south a little bit too long, too. Hello, Jerry, nice to see you. Anyway, Master Badge First Class, and yeah, a cheap little platoon thing, but I could have honestly did better. However, I did spend a little bit too long in the south, but at least we got a win out of that. Thanks for requesting that, Grigsby. That was a pretty fun match. The webcam I have, a Logitech, it's on my my PC spec page on WoT Guru. I think it's like a Logitech 420. I forget the specific number after it, but essentially it's one of it's the best Logitech one that you can get that isn't 60 frames per second. Because honestly, I don't need that for a webcam. I got the best one that outputs 30 frames per second, 1080p. Alright, so Patriot up here. A lot of German mid-tier tanks are pretty good looking. Thank you, Jerry. Glad you like the videos. Yeah, a lot of tanks, like, I get annoyed at them, but you can really kind of see it here. A lot of times you shoot the side and you might just hit, say, right here on a tank. And if you look, the hole actually ends here. You'll see it on a lot of my weak spot guides. I color like this section purple on almost every tank, because most tanks, right around the top of the track wheels, if you shoot basically beneath the like center what, the sprocket area or whatever. Basically, if you shoot beneath the center of the wheel, you're not going to do damage. You might do some track damage, but more or less it's going to be like, you know, we penetrated them or whatever it says, and no HP comes off. There we go. Thanks, John. that is the one there. I was lucky when I was going to buy it, it was on sale. Not that they're super expensive, but I always try to get things when they're, you know, you save a little bit here or there. Thanks for popping by, Daniel. Have a good night. Yeah, luckily I drank a little bit of coffee here a little bit ago because I was starting to get a little tired. Sundays are always busy for me. Even though my day went really well today, honestly, we technically, at least for breakfast, yeah, I was stupid to knowingly tank a E75 shot. Like, it was a pretty good day. Everything went pretty well as far as service went. Like, lunch was dead, but we did between me and one other cook there, because Sundays there's only 2 of us. The other, you know, our other weekend day, Saturday, there's 3 of us there. We did 225. Thanks, FCM. If you're the last wheel, you have to be really careful not to shoot your teammates. Did 225 people for breakfast. It went really smooth though, but for just 2 cooks, you know, it was our busiest day so far of the year for just you know, just breakfast. Good night, Jerry. Which, hello, Dana. Nice to see you. Hello, Toma. Which, John, would you like the Object 140 for your ultimate challenge? Or would you like a different tank? Honestly, I am not playing the Patriot very well here. There we go. I can finally push this way. It's just, I took that shot from the E75 twice, very stupidly. The Patriot, you can tank some shots on the whole, but not against tanks like that. Didn't help that my FCM though popped me from behind. I wasn't taking that into account when you can say everyone's useless, but we're still technically ahead. Against tier 8s though, granted I still might die here. I'm fairly comfortable if I can angle my hole to tank stuff. 120's out. Guess we're gonna have to go back to the base. He's AFK. Gonna auto. Never mind, he's dead. Thank you very much, Grigsby, for the tip. I'm glad you enjoyed the PZ3 4 match. I'm doing my best to get you an ace tanker. I think I might have a video up of it, of an ace in it, but from one of the first times, like, I purchased it back and played it on the stream, but that was months ago. But I'm trying to get another ace in it, unless I never got an ace in it and I'm thinking of a different tank. But alright, time for cleanup here. I could have, yeah. There we go. Yeah, I'll hop into the 140 next here. Honestly, the changes that are popping up for the super test for 9.20, like, definitely, you know, keep an eye on them, but at the same time, nothing's ever final from super test. The initial stuff that ever comes out of them, they're never 100% finalized. So basically what wargaming's going to be doing is, since people, honestly, this goes back to, they did listen to people, and if you remember when they tried to change the overmatch mechanics to make it a little bit more, say, intuitive, or not intuitive, but basically not based off of just simply knowing that your caliber is 3 times or 2 times the thickness of armor. So they're switching it basically to an equation where, you know, it would ricochet off, and overmatching would not be strictly based off of caliber. If you remember, it was like 3, 4, 5 patches ago, and everyone flipped out because the initial showing that they did of it wasn't perfect, and it had a couple bugs. So basically they scrapped that, from as far as what I know. And basically what they're doing now with buffing some of the Russian mediums, specifically, you know, the Object 140, T54, T44, that have, you know, somewhat thin turret roofs, they're kind of buffing them, and also other nations as well, to where they're removing a lot of the overmatch spots, but also, you know, they're leaving the very easy to hit hatches on them. They're still going to be pretty easy weak spots, but more or less what they're trying to do with the 140 and T62A, you know, they're trying to differentiate them, because honestly they're almost the same tank outside of Object 140 a little bit better gun depression, and T62A stronger turret, better on the move accuracy. Which this is a challenge going on here, so I have to hit double the HP and damage, assist damage, and blocked here in this challenge. Which, thank you very much, Labobo, for the tip. More or less, you know, I kind of, you know, I'm fine with them changing the 2 tanks. Their initial changes, you know, they still haven't announced all the changes in 9.20. It's going to be changing a lot of things, honestly. Not just Russian tanks. They're doing French tanks, German tanks, Japanese tanks. Yeah, they're doing a lot of things. Any tips for the Chinese Type 58? I won't say I'm the most well versed in that tank. If I remember, I might have skipped that. Yeah, I can't give you a definite answer on that, Scud, sorry. But more or less what they're trying to do with the 62A and 140 is make them a little bit different from one another. Unfortunately, because of those overmatch things, people flipping out about it, Wargaming listening, they're kind of trying to take away some of the overmatch spots on tanks that, you know, Object 140's turret shouldn't just be, oh, I know my gun can overmatch that, pop it in the roof. They were trying to get rid of that and basically make it to where penetration would matter and not just gun caliber size. And unfortunately, this is what they're left with unless they go through with an overmatch rule change. But people really hated that for some reason. That TVP learned not to push in that tank. I'll take a little bit of a risk here because I probably will just get shot by the E50M. I shall save you. Sheridan kinda has himself stuck out here alone. He's not alone anymore, he's with that TVP back in the garage. Honestly, it was brought up last stream about the server population going down. It's been like that since I've ever started this game, and the population, honestly, you know, it goes up and down. Specifically every single summer people complain about it because every single game, as far as what I have ever seen, population very slowly dips in the summertime because everyone's outside. Like, not, you know what I mean, not everyone's outside, but when it's nicer out, people do things outside. They don't necessarily sit on their computers. Whereas in the winter, dark, gloomy, rain, snow, people play a little bit more video games. Fortunately, my team did not exactly do a very good job at preventing us from getting flanked. And I'm gonna try to make my way back to back to semi-safety here, but I don't want to completely, like these two shots I really needed to hit. Don't want to completely ditch the guys that were surviving over here, but fortunately I've got to run away a little bit here. But as far as the population, honestly, the NA server, you know, the population over time has gone down a little bit in off-peak hours, primarily because the SEA server, you know, has basically been opened up and they transferred a lot of people over there, and more people, you know, play over there rather than still play on NA. But the population as a whole, the peak times when most people play, honestly, I have noticed zero difference between, you know, the past few years and now, and it's a lot higher than when I've started the game. Like, I remember, like, I started in 2011. I remember when I first was playing, within like the first few months, people were like, World of Tanks is dying, like, the population's low, this game's only gonna last another year. Like, yeah. It's just people whining, complaining. And honestly, the changes that Wargaming's putting out, like, I don't agree with them all. However, I did see someone make a very good post where, or I should say comment where, you know, Wargaming, this game's over 6 years old, to where, look at any other 6+ year old free-to-play PvP game, and they found a way to keep it fresh, for better or for worse, whether, you know, you agree with all the balancing decisions or not. They're still putting out new content, they're rebalancing, they're adding all new graphic render in 9.20, and, you know, no, like, not really, I wouldn't say any game does that, but you're hard-pressed to find other games that actually do something along those lines. Yeah. I was trying to bounce that second shot and that didn't work. But unfortunately, I think I still got to it. I needed to reach, in this challenge here, which I was talking for most of it, but I was keeping a very small eye on the damage, and I barely got to it, John. I needed to reach 3,800 damage because John purchased the Ultimate Challenge, the Guru, in the chatbot shop with his Levi biscuits, and I reached 4,006, so I beat it by 206, combined everything together. So I just barely eked that out there. Hello, Thunderbird. Nice to see you. Thanks again for the challenge, John. I think... I don't remember. I think I lost the last two that you did with the Object 140 here. Well, Uber, that's the thing. Basically, the changes that they're doing... If I can get back to my tank here. They're buffing the 140's turret, but specifically only in this spot here. The hatches are still very weak and larger and weaker than the T-62As. However, the main changes that they're going to be doing is, I believe the 140, they're going to mess with the... I forget the exact changes, but I think what it's going to be is the T-62A is going to be more of a brawling tank. Object 140 is going to be more of a not long range, but mid-range tank. That's what I think I saw, but honestly, like, I never put too much weight in like specific changes until it actually hits the public test server, because everything prior to that is very heavily subject to change. But what I think they're going to do is the T-62A, the accuracy it's going to be more favorable to be fighting close up, and in return I believe it's going to have higher DPM. And the Object 140, the accuracy, as far as T62A, higher on the move accuracy but worse overall accuracy. Object 140, better overall accuracy but worse on the move. I think that's what it was. I could be, I could be wrong here, but as far as differentiating the tanks, they're gonna feel different. So alright, so I think I have a grind up here. I don't think I did that. I forget. Honestly, I've been talking so much, I forget where I'm at on the requests. But let me hop into the Leopard prototype here, and then up after that's the Malshin. I don't use any mods. I don't see any need to. It's thank you, Dana, for purchasing. Everyone's rewarded with Levi biscuits here. Hey, bud. Yeah, I don't see any reason to use any mods, honestly. Well, Thunderbird, I wasn't saying that. It's just, the SEA server hasn't been open for the entirety of World of Tanks. A lot of people in that region actually played on the NA server. When it initially came out, there was like 2 or 3 waves to where people could transfer over to it. Their accounts from NA to SEA. Not all of them did it. Like I knew people that still played on NA because they didn't want to hop over to a new server that was iffy if it would actually survive, and the population, etc., etc. I feel like over time, more people, have made the jump over there just because the ping is better. So but as far as the Russian mediums, more or less what they're looking to do, from what I gather from everything, you have the Object 430, that's basically it has the tankiest hull and turret of the 3, but the worst gun and mobility out of the 3. Object 907 is a reward medium, so that's, kind of out of the picture. That thing's the best out of all 3 or all 4 to be honest. Object 140 has a better hull than the T62A, worse hull than the 430, and the turret's going to be the worst out of all of them. But the gun, I feel like, is going to work best at mid to long ranges. T62A is going to have the best turret, or the better turret than the Object 140, worst hull armor out of the 3, and it's going to have the best close-up fighting gun out of the 3 standard mediums. But again, everything, it's still all speculation. Like, yeah. Honestly, I'm not looking forward to... I'm excited for 9.20, but the amount of changes going on in the game is... it's another huge patch for me to basically compile everything and update everything on my website. It's gonna... I don't know how I'm gonna pull it off in the summer, so... I'm hoping they kind of... Not that I want them to push it back, I kind of hope they push it back to September, when I have a little bit more time. Hello, Hyper. Nice to see you. Honestly, my team literally did not push out on that flank, so I could not do anything over there. So, here's the hoping they come back to base, because they are not going to be able to push across there before they reach ours. Ooh. It is E25. Oh, he ammo racked me. Let's say I'll brawl with the E25 just because I know his gun just literally cannot keep up with me alpha-wise. But unfortunately, I've got to... I'm trying to fall back. Fortunately, Arty's going to be able to get me. For whatever reason, I thought I could shoot that Leo. I was very sadly mistaken. But right now I'm just hoping Arty doesn't delete me, which is a very, very high possibility. DC. Luckily for me, their Arty's on the run. Ooh, I just got a little bit of lag. That's not good. Oh, why did I get lag exactly at the moment I needed to make a decision whether or not I'd push or run away, and I kind of hesitated because everything stuttered. I don't know if that was packet loss or if it was just frame rate drop for some reason. Whew, barely got that before my gun depression popped back up there. See a little TD. Barely nipped him. I loaded HE. I might come back to bite me with this other M46. I actually could have killed him. I'll tank a shot here. And of course he ammo racked me. I am in the Leo, but... Ooh, that was actually Arty that just killed him, so this is no good. I'm actually just gonna point this out and hope that my Arty is able to... That was close. This is M46, unless he gets a extremely low roll, he will be able to kill me. Doesn't hurt for me just to wait him out though. Thank you very much for the subscription, Thunderbird, and also Isaac. Thank you very much, guys. Very nice, Lorraine. But decent battle, 2,700 damage. I did the right thing by not pushing out to a flank that I knew I would die on. Even though it did, you know, kind of put us in a tough spot. It still doesn't, it's not worth pushing a flank that you know that you have no chance on. Say, he's up here somewhere. Yeah, we're not gonna get. Hello, Cosmin. I can add the bulldog onto the request, but I do not think I'll be able to get to it, unfortunately. Which, thank you very much for tipping Levi, Dana. Thank you for the platoon request, but I will gladly. If it meant getting crucial contribution, I might have done it, but yeah. I'm honored. Yeah, hey, yeah, you got more little biscuits. Yeah, is that that only way to get you up? Hey. I'm not mad at him, I'm getting an eye booger out. Mastery badge second class, most damage in the match, 3,100. Not too shabby. Fergus camping around the base, to be honest. But it was tactical camping. Alright, so the Malshin is up next here. It is a little bit slow than a completely upgraded one, just because I'm gonna grind out the engines on this and the VK pretty slowly. Hello, Warrior. I'm doing alright. Sorry, I already declined his, but honestly, you know, I thought about it, but he was trying to get the crucial contribution, I believe, but With the amount of requests here, I need to solo it out. Well, were you asking for me to play them, Cosmin, or which one? I would go Bulldog over to T69. Thank you very much, Soren, for the subscription. Oh, I know. I'm just... It's a lot of experience. What, 50,000? For me to use free experience on for a tank line I'm not really... You know, I'm not grinding it. I already have the mouse. So... I did not Uber. Basically, if you had the mouse, you had everything unlocked, not the modules, which the engine's the only one technically, if you have the mouse, that isn't unlocked. So all you had to do was rebuy them. So that's what I did. I rebought this in the VK. But the engines, you have to, you know, grind out the experience or use free experience. I usually elite tanks with free experience, which is why I always have so much up there. I save it for when I'm grinding new tanks, so I don't have to play them stock. This one, you know, I'm not grinding to the mouse, I already have it, so I'll just slowly get the engine here. Yeah, you know, this and the tank before is pretty slow without the upgraded one, yeah. You're pushing a little bit too far out there, but I am completely fine with taking about 50% of your HP. D1's a decent spot to push to, but he was a little bit too far towards the edge of the map. Pershing, you do not want to do that. James Bond is up there. You do not want to push on James Bond. I should have waited for that T-49, I would have killed him. He's probably gonna be mad, you didn't help me, this and that, but we'd both be pretty much dead at this point. Now the Yag Panther's doing the right thing. I can't spot him because he's behind that bush. I'm a lumberjack. I do run over a lot of trees. I honestly don't even notice them unless I'm later on in the game. I try to avoid them just because some people use basically the cheating mod of if you knock a object down, they know where you are because it pings you on the map. So I avoid them later on in matches. Early on though, Figured he was using the HE gun. He's giving me a side shot though. I'll gladly take that. Alright, I'm banking on my team. They're starting to pull back into this, but we're about to lose that other flank, and we don't have arty, so... Or wait, we do have arty, never mind. It's just... If I move from this spot, basically if I push forward, I'm more likely not going to get flanked and killed. If I pull back, my TDs are going to be exposed, and that's not going to work out. So unfortunately, I'm kind of stuck. Thank you very much, Dana, for the tip. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. They're already moved. Not that I want to get shot by the Type 4. Holy crap, these... Whoa, where are they going? The T-60... Oh, at least the Super Pershing pushed out, but oh god, this is a very precarious situation that we are in right now. It looks like it's gonna pay off. However, it's not exactly the safest thing in the world. Oh, our T-Tangus got nailed with an HE round. Yeah, I always use personal reserves to build up free experience, but spending, you know, most of the tanks I grind are like tier 8 to 10, so you know, I have like 400 or 500,000 experience right now. That only, you know, basically gets me by for like 3 or 4 tanks, I feel like, before I'm down to virtually nothing. There's had to be a tree here. Obviously they're crap. I'm in a bad spot. Ah, he used heat. You're excellent. He's able to hit him. Good. Ah, shit. He hit the destroyed tank, so that soaked everything up. I'm mainly staying out here for my team's sake, but yeah, this is so good. I don't think... Oh, I missed him. I was about to say, I don't think I can get there. But if we start losing these TDs back here, we're screwed. Unfortunately, yeah, it's... Yeah, this is all gonna go downhill though. I wasn't exactly in the best spot, but honestly, I was kind of caught off guard by our team pushing up there, which, you know, it was a good move by them. But the enemy was pushing south, whether we did that or not, and getting back to cover this, I was a little bit late on. That worked out. Betcha he feels a little bit dumb right now. My turret. Somehow we are still barely... Never mind. I was like, we're barely in this if they can survive. Pretty big if, too. Yeah. My only chance was to start one-shotting them, but that's not gonna happen. Put me out of my misery so I can move on to the next match. Did 3,200 damage, but still. The problem with this tank is you're too slow to where I knew where I needed to get, I just couldn't get there. And they just pushed right through and swooped up all of our tanks at low HP. Yeah, nothing I could have done about it, even with the upgraded engine. Okie. But as far as the match goes, my next tank up is the IS-4. Yeah, nice amount of damage on my team, but still. Doesn't really count the much when, yeah, you can't get to where you need to be. Mousin, you know, pretty much the whole line. VK, Mousin, Mouse, they're very good. However, the main drawback is the speed of the tanks. And, you know, if you get one of those matches where the enemy just kind of plays around you, it usually doesn't bode well for your team. A double bush. You need a very large bush to hide one of those tanks. Hi, why are you whining? You got 3 biscuit tips. No whining. No. No. How do I like the T-30? I have a personal vendetta against that tank, so I don't like it. Only because I had it when it was a tier 10 heavy. It was a very fun tank to play. And they ruined it by classifying it as a tank destroyer and basically shoehorning it into, yeah, being underneath the T110E4 when they could have basically put it as the tier 10 TD, in my opinion, instead of having three separate tier 10 T110 series. But it's not technically bad statistically, it's just the tank is extremely reliant upon basically RNG going in your favor because the gun handling's atrocious, accuracy sucks, but the turret armor's good, mobility decent, but you know, you're really reliant upon your shots going where you're actually pointing. Thank you for tipping the dog again. Creating a monster here. Fortunately, I don't go on the computer unless I'm streaming, because he'd probably start really hating me. Thank you for both tipping him. I'll give him two big treats up here. Luckily though, I haven't given him any special snacks today, so his diet is intact. Levi's gonna be very happy once Ryan gets home. She gets home not like early, but pretty much any time from, obviously she's not home right now, 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. instead of like 1 a.m. So he'll be happy actually to see her before bedtime. IS-7's better in the T10. Even before these rumored IS-7 buffs. 263, why are you... An object 263 does not need APCR. You know, shooting him is not a bad thing, it's just I wanted to get a tank out. Just to make things a little bit more on our side here, because we are still down by technically 3 tanks. Even though it feels like we have the advantage, our south is just getting hammered. My shot bounced off of him and hit the frickin' hill there. Through it, I'm going in. Very nice. We just can't waste any more time here. Perfect timing, Mojo. I don't think they're doing anything to the T10, to be honest. Crap. Might die. Yep, I died. Nice timing, Batchat. I did leave myself. I should have pushed to the building first, but I thought he was gonna get spotted before that actually happened, but oh well. Problem with the IS-4 is, you know, the armor's decent all around it, but against other tier 10s, if you're not angled right, you know, they just cut through you. And unfortunately, still did 3,000 damage, blocked 2,000, but one little mistake like that and your HP goes through very quickly. So that was short-lived, but T95E2 coming up here, which I'm hoping to get through all these requests and possibly doing a grind or two at the end. We'll see. I know I did a couple earlier in the stream, but I'd like to get in like the T49. Yeah, you know, if you want to see old videos of the T30, I have a couple, or one specifically, most kills I ever got in a match. It's in my playlist on here. It's all the trip down memory lane. It's one of the oldest ones in there. It's a pretty fun match in the T30 when it was a heavy tank. Well, the IS-7, honestly, it has a, I think it's like a 46% win rate or something, which, hello Gunner. It's one of the lowest. I think the only lower tier 10 win percentage for a tech tree tank is the Object 268, which is getting a very minor buff, but an important one. They're buffing the gun velocity by like 200 meters per second or something, which is pretty huge. It's going to help it more than people think. I think that tank needs a little bit more than that, but the IS-7 buffs, they look significant, but honestly, they are well within reason. Looking at them, they're buffing the HP, I believe the gun handling a little bit, and the engine power. I don't know why they just didn't change the terrain resistance, because that's really what keeps the object, or the IS-7 in check right now. But the changes to the IS-7, actually, I would say it's still going to be pretty well balanced, because the gun still has very low DPM. Penetration isn't the best on it, and the overall accuracy isn't the best, even with the buffs to the on-the-move accuracy. So it is definitely going to be better, but it's still, you know, it's not going to be, you know, say the best tier 10 heavy. It's going to be probably the best tier 10 heavy medium, you know, vying with the 113 and the new Chinese WZ-111 tier 10. It's gonna, which I guess took really, really bad shots there. It's basically gonna be vying for that title with those two other tanks, and you know, I actually think compared to a lot of their other balancing decisions recently, this one is, which I forgot to tip the dog, sorry. This one actually, you know, it makes sense. Thank you very much, Hunter, for the subscription. The problem here is I'd like to push because from the looks of it, their whole team is on the other side, but not confident in my Indian Panzer actually pushing, although this Air Navarre moving up here, okay. Let him... That's to say, the Indian Panzer's engaging him. I assume this T-44 is, yep, gonna pop right out to try to hit the Indian Panzer. I gotta cover him. It's just our team's definitely gonna lose that other flank, which I guess at this point it's kind of now or never. It's just, I have a very strong feeling that there's a Scorpion G sitting back here. And it's not a bad decision to go through that way now. But even though, you know, I hate on the T-69, you know, it is just one tank, and honestly, it's not that bad. It's just, you know, if you're talking, would I like to play as T-69 just on a whim? Probably not, because it needs a lot of gold rounds, but, you know, it can pump out a lot of damage. Unfortunately for me, which the Scorpion G is out here. Nope, he's not going to push out there. I just picked the wrong flank here. My flank, I'm not able to push it because we're probably missing two tanks to be able to push this effectively. I wasn't on the important flank, essentially. Also, Throwing APCR. I don't think he... maybe he does have the upgraded gun. That's a lot of, that'd be a lot of distraction, Hyper. But yeah, unfortunately, this is what happens when you pick the wrong flank to go on, and yeah. Doesn't matter, I might as well just try to shoot him. I can't even pen to 252, 252U. Even with my heat, can't pen him. Same with the 212. It seems like somebody has a very strong fancy for this tank. It gets requested every stream. I don't mind playing it. I'm just surprised that people want to see it as much as it gets requested. Because even though it is a a rare tank to where you only get it through the inviting people into World of Tanks program. I forget what it's called. Refer a friend, essentially. It's not necessarily a good tank, and you need a little bit of luck with the pen to get a decent amount of damage in it. But yeah, decent match, even though we pretty much got clobbered. All right, T44-100. Go for this. No, I have not, Carl. Yeah, it's not a bad choice to go through that other line Uber. Pretty sure that's how I went up there. Well, basically what happened there, like, same tier battles are fun and all, but there was one arty on each side, I believe. Basically, both teams pushed their respective flanks. Ours held back like 3 or 4 tanks towards the center, and basically our other side, the main flank, got clobbered. Nothing that really you can do with just one SPG, and unfortunately our other flank that I was on, I couldn't really push because I was going to get killed because they were set up pretty well to cover each other. Enemy played it right, and unfortunately, I'm always a proponent. I like arty. It makes the game more dynamic, and honestly, people don't realize if they take it out, it will it'll dumb the game down a lot in a bad way, to where pretty much just staying in very large groups will basically be the surefire way to win. Whereas say you have 2 arty, because one arty, not to say it's not a threat, but now that damage has been lowered, it's not that much of a threat. If you have 2 arty, say, firing on a flank that's, down by 2 or 3 tanks, it evens it out and gives you a fighting chance. It doesn't tilt it necessarily in your favor, but it gives your team at least a chance to not get completely annihilated on that one specific flank. And unfortunately, I don't even know where our arty was aiming, but that match there, we just fell prey to being outnumbered on the main flank. Object 416, I really want to turn left. Oh, dude. All for wanting to kill TVP, but a little bit quick there. Yeah, I forgot to tip the dog again. Sorry. I will definitely get it after this battle here. Yay! And I didn't pen him. I'm trying not to use APCR because honestly, I'm not one of those people just to use it when our team's doing extremely well. Does it hurt your damage and credit making and stuff like that? Sure, but yeah. David, as far as donations, there's several different ways. There's PayPal, Super Chat on here. There's a little $sign in the chat. And you can also do it through Streamlabs. Or you can just tip me with kindness. Hello, Flatus. Everything's been going well, yes. Thanks for asking. We've been pretty busy. Pretty much my life is the restaurant right now until mid-September. That's when it finally starts dying down a little bit. They're gonna be like, don't cap, kill. No, I'm gonna cap it out. Oh, Crunchy Frog was a Monty Python thing. Hey dog, you got 2 more tips? I know you got your peanut butter ones here. Oh, he dropped the first one. But nice quick little match here. The T44-100, I like playing it, and the T44. I don't own the T44 right now though. I sold it for credits years ago to buy a tier 10. But the main problem you have to remember with this tank is the penetration. APCR makes it a completely different tank, but using that is a little expensive. Thank you very much, Wang, for the tip. I appreciate it. As far as being arty safe, I typically play to where if it's not shooting at me, I play like there's no arty. You know, the more aggressive you get, the harder it is for them to hit you because you get closer to them, you're moving around, and yeah, it typically works to get closer because their shell arc starts to drop and they can hit you over less things. Thank you very much for the tips tonight though, guys. Somebody said crab cake or crab birthday cake. Honestly, today it reminds me of something today. We had someone order oatmeal with pecans in it. We always do brown sugar in it. And they ordered whipped cream for their oatmeal. Yeah, that's a first. We all kind of looked at each other and we're like, what's going on here? Are we missing something? Couldn't have been for anything else because it was specifically for their oatmeal. That's honestly a first. I've never heard of it. Like, I've heard of putting like dairy in your oatmeal, like that's normal, but yeah, not whipped cream. As far as you can change your YouTube, what your name is displayed here. Although it might mess with Fussbot. Granted, I can switch that, the chat bot here with tracking you. But as far as for Levi Biscuits, more or less though, the name displayed here is just tied to the account you have logged in and your Google Plus account. Even if you don't use Google Plus, if you just go over to it, you can just switch your display name here. Well, it's just strange to me. Like, you know, especially going out to a restaurant to order oatmeal with whipped cream on it. Sounds extremely odd. Awesome. Luckily, this has a little bit of armor to it. Yeah, I see you guys over there. I know, it's just frothy cream, but... still strange, give me that. For never have seen it ever before, we were all looking at each other like, what? Okay. They've kind of caught on to my whole tanking with the tortoise thing. Personal rating, the whatchamajig, the formula for it is on the World of Tanks wiki, but more or less it comes down to damage per game, I believe. Yeah, I'm getting shot from behind now because my team ran away. Yay! Granted, we have not killed a tank yet, which is part of the problem. However, running away, guys, does not solve that because now they're going to push across the center. I was the only tank actually holding the center for the entire match because everyone else was kind of hiding in the back, but yeah. Now they can just kind of mosey on through. Like I was the only person holding them in check. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get him. I'm dead. Yep. Oh well. Hello, Deadlock. Nice to see you. And Nam. Nice to see you as well. Hello, Biohazard. But, yeah, I'm not gonna wait for this T-30 to die. Which anyone who, tipped tonight, through Streamlabs, after, you know, there's a couple of you guys, I always, add your Levi biscuits, I forgot to say earlier, after, each stream. I always go back through and add them in. Anyone that tips through Super Chat, it's kind of it's automatic. IS-7 here. See, at this point, I have the T-57, 183, and the Bulldog. And then I might be able to do a grind or two for myself. But as far as personal rating, more or less what it affects, I believe. You know, it's similar to win rate 8 in a way. However, the most important factors, I believe, are win percentage, damage, kills are factored in, spotting damage is factored in, unlike win rate 8, and then they factor in some other little things, like capping, I believe, is a very small amount of that, but not heavily weighted. And it basically, any statistic tracked in the game outside of, I believe, block damage, more or less is factored in the personal rating. So well, there you go, your name's you swap your name around there. No, Keith. Efficiency, I believe, is a completely different thing. I could be wrong now. It's just personal rating, they actually rebranded it, so it might be. because efficiency was... I'm confused though. The amount of the times I've played the game, or for as long as I played the game, there's been so many different little stat trackers to where I believe efficiency was Wargaming's old version. I believe. I'm confused though, but yeah. But more or less, I think personal rating's a little bit more reliable. Not that I think outside of you trying to, let's say, like join a clan that has like a certain limit set to where they don't accept people under a point, stats don't matter. Just focus on, you know, trying to win the match, and also focus on trying to do your HP's worth in damage or spotting if you're in a light, and pretty much what you should be shooting for. So but personal rating, since it's not affected by, you know, them changing, which, you know, win rate 8, I completely wrote it off. I didn't like it even before this, when they changed lights and SPGs a lot, because it can't differentiate between old battles and new battles when they buff and nerf tanks. But with 9.20 changing a bunch of tanks again, you know, they're in the same boat to where it completely changes, you know, how a tank performs and what you expect out of it. Personal rating, you know, it is account specific. They don't have it for any specific tanks on a tank by tank basis, but, you know, to me it's a good thing. It's just because you play one tank good doesn't mean that, you know, basically your stats are great and everything else. But we really need you guys to spot here. Well, as far as games played, it is a very small factor of the equation, yes. But it doesn't necessarily mean just because your games played is super high that it always goes up. Like, kill him, but I'm not exactly sure that I can hit him and actually pen him there. Somebody's happy now. Here we go. Now that we're getting a little spots on the hill here, makes things a little bit easier.
I can't reach it. Bring it closer. Come. Oh, that he's busy. Good person. Work.
The whole equation for personal ratings on the World of Tanks wiki. So as far as anything specific you guys are asking, I can't give you a definite answer. But I believe games played is a very small factor of it all. Honestly, I was kind of thinking, Keith, of coming up with some sort of, because there's not one out there as far as what, you know, say a personal rating you should shoot for. To me, you know, I haven't done it because obviously I don't think it's that important to come up with it, but it is something to where I've kind of thought about it because I've had a few people ask me. Honestly, I can't give you a specific answer because I'd have to actually look into things in depth to give you an answer like that, though. Very much wanted to ram something, but I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to... No, I'm not going to be able to ram anybody. The leopard prototype throwing heat. How cute. Charity kind of walked away. I'm sure she'll be back, though. But yeah, even though games played is factored into it, which I'm personally fine with because, you know, learning stuff over, you know, say whether you're really good at the game or, you know, you just play for fun and, you know, you don't really care how well you perform or, you know, you're not the best player. Games played still matters because you still learn things about maps, how tanks play, you know, whether or not, say, you have the best reflexes or whatever. It still should be factored into something. It shouldn't be weighted heavily, which it isn't, because, you know, you can play however many games you want, but if you're not doing everything else, your personal rating isn't going to just skyrocket because you, say, play 1,000 games a day. I know that's exaggerated, but decent match though. Got a tank sniper award, Confederate. They said hi. Sorry, I'm a little busy here.
What to get.
I did 3,800 damage here. Ryan didn't bring me dinner, so
she
just ruined everything. So pretty decent amount of assistant damage, and a little bit of blocked on top of that. But the IS-7's still good tank, even though, you know, the buffs it's potentially getting are kind of needed. You can still do pretty well on it. Alright, so the T-57's up next here.
Nice catch.
Sorry, Ty just texted me. I didn't see your text message, though. I was too busy being a unicum.
What do you want?
I'm just kidding.
Free.
I don't know, pick something.
No.
We'll let them pick. What should we eat for dinner? Please say Taco Bell. Request a tier 1? Sorry, I really don't want to play a tier 1.
Oh, Levi. Losing your touch, dude.
Here we go. I'll put it up for a vote here. Uh-oh. I don't think I did it right.
Ready? Goofy doll. Your people are moving.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Alright, so I created a new poll there. If you type !1 tacos, !2 for pizza, !3 for Chinese food, as far as what we should eat. But I believe that you do have to put an exclamation point in front of it for it to actually work.
Bacon.
But I'm a little bit confused how to actually get people to vote. I would have... Maybe you... Oh, you have to type !vote space 1, 2, or 3. Sorry. Sorry for leading you guys awry there. So the command is !vote. You do space and then 1, 2, or 3 for your vote to count. Can't believe I'm letting you guys pick what I eat. You have to actually type vote after the, like Rich did there. a little hard to explain it since there's a little bit of a delay on the chat. Can't believe I just bounced off of a 183. Oh god, I'm definitely gonna die here. There we go. It should all be working now. Even though I'm definitely gonna die.
What?
Levi's getting a little... yeah, I'm dead. Sorry whoever requested the T-57. This obviously did not work out. It's working now, as far as how everyone... Alright, so my next tank up's the 183. That's how you do not play a T-57, by pushing into everybody. That was pretty stupid.
Don't you bark at me. Don't bark at me. You're not allowed to get upset.
The polls only I can make.
Levi.
She is Gunner, but I'm not sure she wants to play tanks right now after working for most of the day. Honestly, it's looking like most people are voting for Chinese food here. You only can vote once, so...
Gogo, I love you.
I think a Chinese food place is open. We don't really have a ton of restaurant options, honestly, for takeout. Bela Bobo, it got your vote. Alright, could you please not...
He knows it at you!
Sorry. Chinese food it is, it looks like. I'm not afraid about my stats. But honestly, I don't think she wants to play after working all day. So... Goodbye, Mr. Pershing. Vote 3 or get timed out. So much MSG's so good though. Chinese food 1 no. You know what I want, Ryan. I don't even know if she's still in here. I think she left. I haven't eaten Chinese food in I don't even know how long. Thank you for everyone for participating in that. That solved our dilemma. He's really bad at deciding about where to eat. I could pretty much eat anything. So we tend to come to a very precarious where to eat because I'll eat anything and she can't decide. As far as Chinese, we really only have, you know, the typical like American Chinese takeout. The only other places we have, there's one that's more Japanese though. It's, you know, it's hibachi sushi. But in Cape May, there's not too many Asian options outside of that. Frostbite, polls for your own stream, check out. It's a chatbot. It's called Fussbot, Fussbot. That's specifically for YouTube. The Chinese place in Cape May, Rich, there's one near the Acme. I forget the name of it. Honestly, though, typically where we get it from, it's in North Cape May. It's called Asian Palace. You know, it's your typical Chinese American takeout food, but yeah, it's a nice family that owns it. I went to school with the one older son who works there. But their food's pretty good. You know, it's nothing, you know, it's Chinese takeout food.
Do you want any kind of fried rice?
No, I'm good. But yeah, that's our favorite place to get takeout Chinese. The place on the island I haven't been to in years, but you know, it's near the Acme in Cape May. You know, there's only one Acme there, near the Washington Street Mall. But basically with that place, its reputation kind of got slammed. New owners bought it from, I'll refer to them as the old owners, about say 5 or 6 years ago, and the old owners purchased it back from the new owners last year because the new people basically ran it into the ground and destroyed it basically. So it's better now. I've never another one shot. Oh lord, we're still probably gonna lose this, but Acme, it's a name of basically a chain of grocery stores around here. Ouch. I am 3 for 3 with one shots. Granted, we still need to gummy bears and meat. That sounds
Weird.
Strange. Anybody gonna spot? Anybody? Definitely not gonna be able to one-shot him, but my luck did not hold out. It did reset though. Awesome. We got this now. Honestly though, it's so expensive in that Acme. I only go there if it's like crunch time at the restaurant and we've run out of like basically a staple, say like bread or rolls or something. Go sprinting down because it's quicker than driving.
Do you want to come play with your wheel outside?
Probably.
Come on, let's go play with our wheel.
He's gotten enough tips today. He can go play outside. This might be a pretty big mistake. But they're capping again and nobody is spotting, so I'm trying to make my way over there because there's 3 people and yeah. It's like they're capping. You guys literally needed to move about 20 seconds ago. Yeah. Yeah. Wile E. Coyotes. But we could have did, you know, we could have did this, but unfortunately, not to blame anybody, but we needed one of them to continually spot. That way we could get shots on them. But, yeah. No, we are not married. Yeah, I do take tank requests though, getting back Frost who requested a tier 1. I'm not taking any more today. And I only play down to tier 4 during streams, unless it's like every now and then I'll do like a tier 2 or something, but so I one shot at 3 tanks, but outside of that, nothing else. I'm gonna play the Bulldog here, better known as my mother's nickname apparently. Ryan gets that joke.
So if you're ever looking to buy a home in Cape May, Cody's mom is the best real estate agent to go to.
Yes.
She was referred to as a bulldog by our lender, and in a good way.
Yeah. Which I did miss it. Thank you very much for the subscriptions, Deadlock and Yosef. Well, I'm not taking any more requests for this stream. I'm playing this match, and if I have one more, I might play the T49. That's pretty much going to be it. Well, they have the Sturm Tiger modeled and everything for like years now. It's just, it's unbalanceable. That's why they never implemented it. To me, they should release some tanks like that just for like a small little April Fool's mode or something. I don't plan on staying out here. And nobody shot anything. Awesome. Alright, so I guess I am moving back because... yeah, I knew I was spotted by the FV. I had my finger ready to repair my track too. That always happens. I don't have a good crew in this, but my team wasn't hitting anybody, so why am I still out there? Cape May's too rich in Far East for you. That's why you don't live in Cape May. You gotta live in North Cape May, Cold Spring. Even, sounds weird for me to say this, villas. No. Everyone around here calls it the villas or the villas.
The villas.
But it's technically called villas. It's so hard to break that name whenever you say it. Cape May is far too close to the Jersey Shore. That's the thing. Like, Cape May is so much different than pretty much any other shore town in New Jersey. It's technically not even an island. It's a man-made island, technically, but it's just, you know, it's more of a laid-back family resort in a way. Or not even just families, but say couples. Go like 10 miles north to Wildwood and it's party central, people peeing all over the place. Might be bad for my health. Didn't really spot anything. Ooh, that hurt a little bit. I have no idea where, the RHM? Yeah, I have no idea. Well, that's where we live around, Rich. Yeah, most people that live in Cape May don't actually live in Cape May. Like, take my parents for example. They don't live in Cape May, say, proper, on the island. They live off of it and they rent their house that they have in town. It's what I would say the majority of people do. It's just too expensive to actually live in town unless you're like already filthy rich. Yeah, very nice job by him. I don't think I was spotted. Did 2300 spotting though. I'm gonna play one more battle here in the T49. Well, Flatus, you know, even though 36 hours, you know, it's a pretty, it's a high amount. I do stream minimum 9 hours a week. Recently, I've been doing about 11. So, you know, it's not a... Honestly, the person with the most amount of time watched, you can see it on the streamer website if the people logged into it, is 95, I believe, hours. And I actually have ranks going up to 350 hours so far. But for the person with the most amount, I don't know if they're here, I haven't seen them today. With the most amount of time watched, you are about 5 hours away from reaching the rank of Meat Shield number 1. But this is probably going to be my last battle here, guys. Unless it's super quick and then I'll pop into another tank I'm grinding. I'm not taking any more tank requests since I have done them pretty much the entire stream here. Yeah, I tried my best when we first started to, like, I credited people Levi Biscuits, but I did give most people that have been around the stream for a long time, you know, a few hours to start with. It was hard to, like, tally them all up, so... Going with my previous statement of once you hit a tier 9 light, you better get your butt out there and try to do some damage, because just spotting, even though this map spotting isn't that important, until I pull over here and die, but it's extremely important to do damage when you're in a tier 9 or tier 10 light. Your gun's too good not to try to get it in the fight as much as possible. Alright. Insulted. Well, if you reach if you or when you reach that rank, I could always assign it as your static rank forever if you would like. But Meat Shield number 2 follows that rank as well. Which, yeah, I sat here for way too long. I thought we were going to be able to push, but yeah. We just don't have enough to go through here, so I'm going to run back. Doesn't help that we have 2 TDs sitting in the back. One in the mountain spot that I think is pretty much useless, but... But I do need, if anyone has suggestions, you know, post them on Discord for the stream of rank names. You know, I have up to every, basically 10 hours you watch, at a certain point after the first, like, 10 hours, they go, like, hour up to that in intervals. I have up to, like, 200 hours for ranks every 10 hours watched. But after that, it's spaced out. So I haven't come up with names for everything. So found them. Whether or not they're gonna push on me is another story, because I would. I didn't actually want you guys to do that. I know there's a little cubby hole here. Watch spot. I have... Honestly, the way the chatbot, the only way chatbots on YouTube can track your watch time is if you participate in chat. And I have it set for 60-minute intervals, so it's pretty fair to where, you know, some people can't watch a full stream, so as long as you show up for the stream and chat twice, you know, once per the first hour and once per the second hour, it does track you as watching the whole thing. I figured that's, you know, the best for everyone involved, because, you know, people are busy, can't always catch the full stream, where as long as you show up and, you know, watch some of it, you gain Levi biscuits. But I always toy around with the interval. Like, I've dropped it down to as low as 20, but right now it's at 60, and I'm kind of testing it to see how well it works out. Honestly, the ranks, you know, there's something more for fun, and Levi biscuits, something fun as well. Oh, I know. Honestly, if someone's, not that I think he is, that hell-bent on trying to game the system, all the power to him. But thanks, Lobobo. But yeah, this is my last match. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm gonna do a giveaway here. It'll last 3 minutes. The winner, since it was a fun stream tonight, why don't we do 1,000 Levi biscuits? The winner gets. YouTube has better quality, and I was already on here doing videos, so why not? The only thing that Twitch has over YouTube is basically the personalities and streamers they have locked in, to where you cannot put your streams on any other website for 24 hours, I believe, afterwards. But hello Abdul. Thanks for popping in here, but sorry, that was my last fight. But very nice to see you though. But yeah, more or less it was a fun night. Thanks for picking my dinner for me. I'm gonna scarf down some Chinese food before passing out from MSG overload here. Hello Phil. My next stream is going to be tomorrow night, starting at 7 p.m. But I'll probably be able to go a little bit later. Typically, Mondays I can go past 9 p.m., whereas other nights I can't. But also with YouTube versus Twitch, YouTube very soon here is going to basically add in the subscription option. Essentially, they're going to call it sponsorship, where you can... Same thing as Twitch, to where on YouTube it's going to be much easier for streamers. If anyone here is looking to get into streaming, it's the same as other monetizing settings to where, or options to where, as long as you have 1,000 subscribers or a certain amount of views, you're going to be able to have people be able to, you know, sponsor you per month. It's going to be like $4 or $5 a month, like Twitch. Here on YouTube, by the end of the year, custom emojis, I'm gonna have to start working on them. You'll see them up on Discord semi soon in the next few weeks, but they're gonna implement them as well. So you'll have custom emojis here on YouTube for my channel once it gets implemented. And yeah, basically they're adding in those features very soon here. So it'll be interesting. Limoncello Liberté, while it probably isn't, say, the best tier 8 premium compared to, say, the Lorraine 40T Object 252 Patriot, it is always in the top 5 or 6 in profitable tier 8s as far as net profits, and I would still say it's a pretty good tank if you use it for crew training. It's just, you know, it does have that very big cupola people can pen, but it is still, it's one of the better tier 8 premiums. I often forget that I have it, so. But congratulations, Jack Wright, for winning. But again, thank you very much, guys, for watching. Thank you for the tips as well. I appreciate it. But as far as the emojis, like, I plan on making like some Levi ones, and who knows, I'll have to figure some out. I won't be able to make anything that's copyrightable, so you won't see, like, say tonight's stream, like a Monty Python thing, unless I can make one myself that's not, say, like, very discernible like a character from it, but it's something to where you know, basically they're tying it off of X amount of sponsors you have, you get more custom emojis unlocked, to where it's like for the first one sponsor you get one, and then if you hit 5 you get 2, 10, 3, stuff like that. But anyway, it is getting pretty close, so it's something I'm excited about. But anyway, thank you very much for watching again, and I'll see you guys around. Time for me to eat, since Ryan should be back here in a couple minutes. Anyway, have a good night, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see some of you there. See ya.